Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Shannon and this is Glam by Shan. Today I am so excited to do today's video. It is going to be the eyeshadow palette tag part 2 created by Samantha March and Allie Glines. There's a whole new set of questions. I did this tag 2 years ago? I guess? Yeah, 2 years ago. What is time anymore? I don't know. So if you're interested in hearing my answers to these questions, then let's get started. Alright, I've got the questions pulled up over to my right, your left over here. And the first question is your all-time favorite palette. And I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes. I didn't care to count them, but I can tell you I've got a lot. So there were lots of choices to choose from, and what I went with was the Sigma Corda Rosa eyeshadow palette. I got this back in 2020 when it launched. I had not tried the Sigma eyeshadow formula before trying this palette, and holy moly, you guys, it's so good. This palette is super duper gorgeous. It has some nice pinky, coral, and purpley tones in it, some rose golds as well. This is super up my alley. I love using this palette. The formula is gorgeous. The shimmers are super impactful. It also comes with a brush. I just keep it with my other brushes. It is dual-ended, so you get a fluffy blender brush on one side and a more dense packer kind of brush on the other. So if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of brushes, that is fantastic that this palette comes with one. My favorite shade in this palette is Belle of the Ball. It is right up top here. Very, very shimmery, super sparkly. Just a good old Shannon color. And I actually haven't dipped into this palette in a little bit, so I definitely need to do that. Love this palette a lot. Alright, next up we've got a new favorite palette. I am going to start cheating now. I have 3. Sorry, not sorry. I have the Essence 6-pan palettes. I have 3 of them. I have the Bronzed This Way, I have Nothing Compares to Nude, and I also have My Rose Will Go On. I will open all of them for you. I actually have not used the last 2 that I mentioned. I just picked them up in an Ulta haul, so I am so excited to use them because this formula is top notch. These palettes are under $5, so you're getting 6 shades under $5 total, so you really can't beat the value of this palette, and the quality is insanely top notch. These perform like high-end eyeshadows. I have so many shadows in my collection, and these are fantastic. I wore this to work at my part-time job, and I got so many compliments asking what I was wearing. I brought customers over to this section in the store, and they were very surprised that this was what I was wearing on my eyes. It made the blue in my eyes pop impeccably, and I love it so much. This is the Nude 6-pan. It is a very light color story, so I don't think it's going to work on every single skin tone, but this really speaks to me. I love a nude color story, so very excited to try this one out. And lastly, My Rose Will Go On. Love pinky tones, love everything about this formula, so hopefully I'm gonna love this one too. Next is Keep for the Memories. This palette is super special to me. I was wearing it when I got engaged. It is the Colourpop and Kathleenlights, the Zodiac palette. I was wearing this the day I got engaged to my wonderful husband. This palette is so special to me. I just can't part with it. I love this color story. I love everything about Zodiac. I'm super into astrology, so picking up this palette was a no-brainer when it came out. I also love Kathleenlights. She is just one of the original YouTubers that I started watching, and I just can't stop watching her. She is fantastic. So this color story is wonderful, makes me feel very creative. I love doing mauve toned looks with these 3 shades here. You can make a super nice mauve smoky eye, and then a nice neutral eye. You can use these 4 here, maybe even 5. And then I love to use the blues right up top here. I actually haven't dipped into this one in a while and am very inspired to pick it up again, so this is one I just can't part with. Next are underrated palettes. Again, I'm cheating. I have 2. I feel like both of these palettes are not talked about enough, not loved enough, and I just don't get why. Let's talk about the one that I am more experienced with, used a few more times. This is the Colourpop Limoncello palette. I love this palette so much. This came out in the summertime, I believe last year, and I didn't pick it up right away. I wasn't super drawn to it, but once I looked at the color story a little bit more, felt myself a little inspired by it, picked it up, and man, oh man, is this totally underrated. The quality of this Colourpop palette is just spectacular. It really is head and shoulders above almost every other Colourpop palette in my collection. Really love the color story again, love the neutrals, this little pop of green shimmer, and then this pop of blue. Super duper fun for spring, summertime. Also, I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but the Colourpop pans vary amongst palettes. Even with this palette, let me just show you. Look at the pan size difference. This is the same amount of shades, but you get so much more product in here. When I opened it, I was super surprised and thought, oh, that's funny. Maybe it's just, you know, this one palette ever. But it seems like they've been changing the pan sizes amongst other palettes, just depending on the price point, things like that. So I find that very interesting. My second favorite underrated palette is the Glamlight Chocolate Martini palette. This is adorable. It has nutrition facts on the back. I think that's so cute. Calories 0, duh, like adorable. This is a neutral lover's dream. It has that beautiful pop of blue up here. It has these kind of mauve tones that lean a little bit more purple, but it's deep, it's beautiful, it's smoky, it's chocolatey. I love everything about this color story. Super underrated. This is the first Glamlight palette that I have owned, and I really enjoy this quality. Very comparable to everything else I have in my collection. I would definitely be willing to try another palette from this particular line. I know that Samantha March really does like the green martini palette. Might be olive martini. Olive. Something like that. The green one. But this one is so pretty. I love it so much. Let's talk about some palettes that I have that are not a favorite, but I can't part with them. They are just a part of me. I can't bear to let them go. And that is my Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette collection. So I have 4. I have the Carly Bible palette. This one is beautiful, really nice neutral tones in here, but you get a little pops of color here and there. This shade right here is my favorite. I love to just tap it on the lid and it adds a blue purple duochrome kind of shift. Super pretty. I have the Riviera palette, another one that makes me feel very creative. Love this palette a lot, again with the one shade that I love to use to tap on the lid for a little bit of duochrome. And then the two that everybody loves, Soft Glam and Sultry. I just can't part with them. They're just too good. Love Sultry for a smoky moment. This is my go-to if I'm a wedding guest. I love to wear this palette as a guest at a wedding. It's just so smoky and you really can't go wrong with any of the colors in this palette. And then Soft Glam, another one of my faves. So good. I can't get rid of it. All right, next are my favorite collab palettes. I own 3 and I'm gonna show you all 3. In no particular order, these 3 are fantastic. All of their quality is amazing. I have loved them for a very long time and I will continue to love them until the end of their life. First up, we have So Jaded, Kathleenlights, and Colourpop. This palette is everything. I have no idea why they discontinued this palette. It is so good. I have a video on my channel of me doing a bunch of different looks from this palette. If you're interested, I will link it up above here and down in the description box. This palette makes me feel so creative. There are so many different ways you can go with it. You can do the purples, you can do the blues, you can do the reds, you can do the greens. There's really endless combinations that you can do with this palette. You could do a one shadow look with just the diamond shade, which should have been sold as a single. That was a really missed opportunity. Colourpop, if you're watching, you are not, but if you are, come out with diamond as a single, please and thank you. Next, I have the Pure and Raw Beauty Christie double-sided pressed pigment palette. This is also one that I love to wear as a wedding guest. The neutral side, I think it's fantastic. The quality is impeccable. I love that there are so many matte shades to choose from, and then you have the one shimmer shade in the middle. I think it's so pretty, super diverse. Love that side. Also love the colorful side. Again, not one that I use all the time, but it is super nice to have on hand, especially when I want to do super vibrant looks. This is something that I reach for every single time. And lastly, I have the Ofra Samantha March Life's a Draft palette. Love this one. I just can't get enough of purples on my blue eyes. I love purple on my eyes. I don't know what it is about it. I think it just complements it super nicely, makes my eyes look super dimensional. And I love that you have the bronzer, blush, and highlight in here as well. I do have the full size of the River bronzer, and I do love that one a lot. I also have the full size of the highlighter. Forgot to mention that one. Holy moly, is that an insane highlighter. It's actually the only highlighter from Ofra that I kept and that I still own. It is so pretty. Next is a 2021 favorite. This one took me by surprise. I can't believe how much I love it. This is the Tartlet Juicy palette. I picked this up on Jessica Braun's recommendation after it had come out. I saw her review on this palette. I don't know if it was a review or a speed review or a get ready with me, what have you. Whatever it was, this palette is beautiful. I love the super romantic pinky shades in here. I wore this actually for my wedding shower. I did wear this palette and was a big hit, was very complimented. Obviously, I was the bride. Why wouldn't I have been complimented? And obviously, Tartlet palettes smell delicious. They smell like chocolate. So good. This quality is exactly the same as the In Bloom palette that I previously loved from Tarte. I have decluttered it since it was very, very old and started to smell a little funky, but this is the same incredible formula. So if you love that palette and you love pinky tones, you'd love this one. I have two palettes that I did not expect to love. Let's start with the one that I love the formula, so I thought I was gonna love it, and of course I do love it. I just wasn't expecting to. This is the Stone Cold Fox from Colourpop. This is another one of their 30 pan eyeshadow palettes. It is quite cool toned, so something a little bit out of my comfort zone. This palette was used on me on my wedding day. I asked the makeup artist what she thought about it, and she loves this palette, and the way that my look came out was so good. It was so pretty. So I picked it up a couple of months after I had gotten married. Love this palette so much. Cool tones are not typically my thing, but when I feel in the mood, this is the palette that I reach for. And the other palette that I did not expect to love, this was a big shocker. I could not believe how much I wanted this palette, first of all. Second of all, I can't believe I got it. Third of all, the quality is really good. This is the Morphe 35S Sweet Oasis palette. This is a summer lover's dream, first of all. The colors in here are super beautiful. I've done a pink look with the pinky shades. I've done a blue look with the blue shades. Plenty of neutrals for a neutral look. I've done it all. This palette really surprised me. The formula is not like the other Morphe formulas that I've used in the past. This is so much better. I don't know what they did to step up their formula, but if you're looking for a big honkin' eyeshadow palette and you love these colors, definitely do it. This is highly worth the price tag. Not that the price tag is gonna super break the bank. I believe it's under 30, I think. Editing Shannon, how much is it? Very surprised by this palette. I don't typically buy Morphe eyeshadow palettes. I have two, both in the 35 range. I have this one as well as the Mickey and Friends one, but this one just blew my socks off. It was so good. Can't believe I love this, but it's really good. A palette that sparks joy is one that's very special to me. This is the NARS Afterglow palette. This is one of my two quite high-end eyeshadow palettes, and it is just stunning. It is so beautiful. I love these warm tones in an eyeshadow palette. My husband picked this up for me for my birthday a couple of years ago, and then we went on a trip and I wore it the whole trip, and it was so pretty. I created the most gorgeous neutral pink lover dream. It's so good. This, what shade is it? This shade in particular, right here, has pink glitter throughout it. So when you tap it on the lid, it looks gold, but then when you turn your head in the light, you get those reflects of pink, and it is just chef's kiss. So beautiful. Love this palette so much. Sparks so much joy. The newest palette in my collection. I am cheating so much in this, but it's okay. This is my video, and I can do what I want. Are 4. Yes, 4 Colourpop 9-pan eyeshadows. I have the Of Quartz. I have By the Rosé. That's what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I also have Feelin' Bubbly and All Amethyst. I did pick all of these up from Ulta. So what happens when you work there part-time? You don't make any money. Just because they got all the goods, you know? Let me show you By the Rosé first. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes. I use this shade, this shade, this shade, that shade, and that shade all over the lid. So that's what I'm wearing. Again, this pan size with Colourpop, I just don't understand what's happening with them. But I don't know. I like it. I like the bigger pans. It's a lot easier for me to work with. Again, same Colourpop quality that I know and love. I am a huge fan of Colourpop. I know not everybody likes them, and I know that they launch a lot of things, but if you find something that you're quite interested in, they are a great brand. They're super spot on with their quality every single time, every single product. I am a big Colourpop fan. Here is the Of Quartz 9-pan. Again, cool tones. Who do I think I am? I don't know. But cool tones. They look super nice on my eyes, so definitely something that I like to play with, but not something I lean towards or I'm drawn towards every single time I do my eyeshadow. But this was super pretty, so. And I love anything with stones. Again, all amethyst. Love purples on my eyes. Love that there's more of a bluish purple. I think that is super special to have in a purple palette. I don't know what it is about it, but super pretty. And Feelin' Bubbly. A neutral lover's dream. Also a gold lover's dream because the packaging is just super cute. But love this one as well. Lastly are the first palette used in 2022. Again, I have 2. These are both from Colourpop. These are their quads. This is the Free to Be quad. It is all matte neutral shades. Super easy to work with, super blendable. A super easy look for me. I just used this whole palette and then the Ulta Beauty Bouncy Cream eyeshadow in the shade Buttercream. It is just such an easy look, super simple. I get so many compliments when I wear it though, so I don't know what it is about it, but this is just fantastic with those. Then also the Colourpop Sorbet quad. Also super pretty, pinky neutral lover's dream. Love this palette so much. The shade is quite crumbly and it did fall out of the pan, so I just pressed it back in. So doesn't bother me, but doesn't look the prettiest, so sorry if it bothers you. So that was my eyeshadow palette part 2 tag created by Samantha March and Allie Glines. That was a lot of eyeshadow palettes. And I have so much more than that. Anyway, that is everything for me. Yeah, I tag you to do it if you have a YouTube channel and you want to put your own spin on it. Go ahead and do it. So if you like me, you like anything about today's video, you like eyeshadow palettes, you like this look that I'm wearing, please give it a like down below. Also be sure to subscribe and hit the post notification bell to be notified every single time I upload. You can also follow me on Instagram. My handle is @glam_by_Shannon. And with that, I will see you in my next video. Bye. Shan? That's not what I say. Try again. Let's get started. I don't know if I can wink today. Let's get into it. Sorry if you can hear my heat just turned on, so hopefully that's not too bad. But this palette is super, I don't want to blind you. This palette, that's upside down. You really can't beat this quality. Value, you can't beat the value. So really am looking forward to trying it. That didn't need to be said. We'll just cut that out. Moving on. Thanks. This one is super special to me. Oops, my computer just dinged. Let's try that again. It is the, what is this called? I actually haven't dipped into blah blah blah. Let's talk about the one that I am I know that Samantha blah. Let's talk about some palettes that I have there. Oh, my foot's asleep. Oh, my foot's asleep. I saw her. Can't talk. I was gonna say something. I really don't remember. That's horrible. Oh my god, it's not buttercup, it's buttercream. I made it. That's not how I end a video.